All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to Kingdom Power World Radio. We have an excellent show here. Again, something to inspire, but at the same time, something to challenge you. Marco, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, sir.
You know, a lot of you guys hear me talk about, the audience is always talking about the tech side and all the other things that we do. Well, the Kevin James Production Company is amazing, but Marco, Miguel, Fred, there's a lot of staff out there that are doing an incredible job. With Kevin James Production, I love it because they have been educating me, teaching me, helping us to grow. And I want to thank the sponsors. Thank you, sponsors, for all your support. And all of those on the faith-based side, thank you so much for your prayers, your prayer requests, and Kingdom Power World Radio 777. We love you. Now I want to ask a few questions about the tech side, but also on the personal side. On the personal side, we were talking before about The Journey, your book, The Journey. So here you are, a man that travels the world, and you have the lens, an eye to see things other people don't see. Why did you get into the film industry? What compelled you to get in it and to stay in it?
Interesting. Thank you, Glenn, for having me. I fell into the film industry because it started on a photography journey. I was in high school. I had a really cool professor. His name's Michael Garntz. Big shout out to Michael Garntz. Very cool, inspirational guy that just got me on the quest of shooting photography. And what got me into video was that through the lens, a neighbor of mine had a video business, and I already was looking through the lens through photography. And I decided, hey, do you need some help during the summer? Started shooting like basketball games, commercials, and I really fell in love with the storytelling aspect of it.
Now you talk about storytelling, and also you're a travel agent as well. So you have an eye to see the world like through a kaleidoscope. You see different things in the film industry. So as independent films grow, and as independent studios grow, what's your fit? What's your vision?
I think my vision is to tell other people's stories and experience other people's stories. And I say that because through filming, I've been able to experience many different things. And I'm a very curious person. I like to learn. I like to teach, and to teach, I have to learn. So I always tell people everybody needs video in one form or another, and it's taken me across different industries. It's helped me get across the world.
Okay.
One of my dreams and one of my targets out there is to travel the world and experience stories. And I feel that through storytelling, through video, I'm able to experience those things, and the best thing is to share it with other people that might not have otherwise the opportunity to.
Okay, so when someone is starting in the startups, we see so many companies that are starting up.
Yeah.
We see so many companies that get to a certain level and they stall. They just can't go any further. Now, the solution in marketing, there's a whole gambit out there. Say marketing, that can mean anything.
Right.
On the technical side, how do you marry the technical side with the inspirational side? How does that work?
I feel that the technical side has very much been a powerful tool, and I'll leave it at that because it's a tool for the creative process of whether it's through video, whether it's through radio, whether it's through graphic design. I don't think anybody has a reason to be held back by the lack of technology.
Really?
Especially nowadays that we have a lot of technology that's available to us in many forms, from our cell phones to a full-on computer editing system. I think technology has been a great way to take that creative process or the marketing process and put it out there. So, and then I lost the track of
well, that was
my
perfect
brain's
because
going off.
when you were talking about that, that's why I was glad you put it that way, because when you started looking at the technical part of it, and I was looking at, okay, you have the tech side, and then you have the inspirational side, and then you have the, I say tech, inspiration, and then the production side.
Sure.
So as a production company, you know, as you are taking it from A to Z to production and you're out there, what's the most fulfilling part for you?
The most fulfilling part to me is finishing projects and having people experience those projects, because I like, I haven't done a very good job at it, I would say, is patting myself on the back, but I enjoy when people pay homage to the work that I do and the work of my team, because that I've noticed a lot too. It takes a team. I've gone so far on my own, but now working with the great team that I have, Kevin, James, Miguel, Fred, we've been able to accomplish so much. And what's very fulfilling about it is getting things done, exceeding expectations, having the clients be, you know, speaking on our behalf, saying, these guys do this work, these guys did this for my company, or my idea, my project, you know, was brought into fulfillment through our process, and that's fulfilling to me.
Now, on that side, the international side, the international flavor. Now I know you're bilingual, okay? Hola.
Yeah. Hey, ¿cómo estás?
Bien. So I know that that's a different lens to see the world through, a very colorful and beautiful lens. So you do projects that are international and national and local.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite one? Local, international, business?
I mean, my favorite one's the international one. If I could get on a plane and go somewhere and experience a new world, right, a new place, that is my favorite. It's amazing that we can find those things locally as well.
Right.
If people, I think, are open-minded enough, they're open to their surroundings and want to learn, you'll learn. If you want to learn, you'll learn.
See, and I love that, because with Kevin James Gonzalez, with the production company, you guys have a global vision, but you also help in a coaching program, a small coaching program. And your coaching program is kind of unique. You don't spend a long time with people. You kind of come in and you directly tell them what they need and they don't need. Sure. How does that work?
It works in a way that, and it's funny, because I look back to our coaching program and sometimes I think, dang, we're coaching ourselves out of a job, because we're teaching people to do what we do. And I think I feel good about it, because the way it works is, in this industry, film has come a long way from the days of you need to go to Hollywood, you need film producers that have these expensive equipment, and it was very good then for producers and filmmakers. Now everybody has the potential to tell their stories with the tools we have. And so our coaching process and program really teaches people how to use tools that they have access to, specifically being our phones. I mean, there was a young guy, we were on a shoot, I was with Miguel, and one of the parents, there was like a local event, came and said, I want you to meet my son, he's interested in filming and he wants to, you know, do that, but he needs a little bit of guidance. So the kid came and was checking out the gear, and he was fresh. I was like, well, what have you done? Well, nothing. And what do you have? Well, that's because I don't have a camera and I don't have, and I was like, all right, I'm going to give you the best advice I can give you, is don't stop yourself because you don't have a camera, right? You have a cell phone, right? And he pulled out his cell phone, latest, coolest cell phone. I was like, your most powerful camera is in that phone, and no one's going to stop you except yourself. Go create a story, go edit it, put it out, and our coaching program does just that. It empowers people to be able to do those things.
When you're talking about coaching program on a global level too, I know you talk about social media, and you've helped us. Kevin James Gonzalez, the film company's been amazing, and also I know you talked about content, and you know, even though there's a film and there's a camera, content is so important. You know, it can make or break a business. It can make or break. So when we talk about content in your own life, as you're going global, and you're going to do some wonderful things in Mexico. We love Mexico. And is there anybody special in Mexico you want to say hi to?
Yes, my beautiful wife. How are you, Ilana? I'm going to be coming home very soon.
Yes.
That's a journey in itself that we've been on. But Yeah, was the question about content? Or
Well,
I'm sorry.
about that content, you think about your
Yeah.
wife. That was beautiful because you thought about her and you fell into the camera, and so the content about her story and your story, the journey in the book, the journey. So as you're putting the journey together and the chapters in that book about your journey in filmmaking, your journey in business, what would you say to the young person or young in spirit? I would say they want to travel. They've got their camera, and what do they do next? What would you advise a person that's packing the pack up?
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of funding, or she's got a little bit of funding, and they want to do a film. What would you say would be the most important thing they should?
I mean, I think the most important thing is have your idea, have your goal, and really feel that that's your goal and your idea, and don't let others sway you from it, because we encounter a lot of that. A lot of people aren't always on that same wavelength.
Ah, okay.
And I found that sometimes you try to explain to people to understand and support your goal, and sometimes, a lot of times, they will never, I don't want to say they'll never support your goal, but they won't understand it.
Okay.
And so it's not going to be easy for them to get on board and support you. So you have to first identify your goal, know that it's your goal, and those people that might not support it, don't even try to explain it anymore, because I think we put a lot of effort in trying to convince others to accept our goal or our path, and they won't, because it's not their path. So stay on your path, number one, and then take action for yourself.
Okay.
Because a lot of, I think a lot of times as people, we kind of expect that helping hand.
Oh, yeah.
And when it's there, it's a beautiful thing, and take that hand, but a lot of times it's not there. So you got to take that action. If you believe in your goal and you know where you're heading, then you take that first step. Okay. And you might not know exactly how you'll get there, but you'll get there. I'm still trying to get there, but I'm getting there.
Well, I like that, because you talked about your journal and it talked about the journey. So in the journey, do you journal? Do you storybook yourself?
You know, I do. And there's times where I practice. I have a, I guess I'll call it a journal, a book that I write in. And it's a practice that I started doing a couple years, probably like about 8 years ago, that I try to write in it every day.
Okay.
And sometimes I'm very good at it, and sometimes I haven't written it for a while. But it's my process for it is I always try to write in it in like a flow.
Okay.
So like I don't like to stop and think what I want to put down. Like once the pen starts, I try not to stop.
See, that's amazing, because we were talking before the show, and some of the things that you helped me with, and we talked about, Fred talked about it the other day when we were all hanging out, and Miguel talked about it, which, I mean, it's a part of what is it that you want to do, and then the goals come second. I find that's a motivator for me. If I put down what I want to do, then I put my goals, they seem to come to pass. And so in your process of film directing, producing, and evolving, do you feel that why are you doing this? Because it's got to be tough. You know, you and your wife had some time apart, and she knows what you're doing, you know what she's doing. So you want a better life, and your goal to do that is being yourself.
Yeah.
So where do you get your inspiration from? I think you get part of this inspiration through music.
I think through a lot of music, art, and to be honest, Glenn, sometimes I still struggle with that myself, is finding those inspirations. I think sometimes we all have different mental blocks that sometimes I don't know how to answer those questions. People are like, well, why? What's your why? And then I think, and sometimes I don't know what it is, or sometimes I think it's one thing.
Or why not? Why you're not working a 9 to 5. 9 to 5s are awesome.
I think sometimes that's a more interesting question, at least in my perspective, is the why not, because it's hard. I think I find it difficult sometimes to find out that why. And maybe that's why I'm often behind the camera telling other people's stories, I think, or because I don't think I know exactly how my story is yet. And somebody told me one time a cool perspective about like our goals, and I've heard it in many different forms, but it was like, no, you know, your goal's like a star or like a dot, right? Like just know that you want that one. But there's a lot in the mix there, and it's not a straight shot.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for many, it's not a straight shot. And they're like, you might end up on these dots or these stars, but don't let them distract you from your shot, because you could go many different ways to your goal or to your mark. And so I think I would say that to the people starting too, is don't lose sight of.
Now, with that, not losing sight of your goals, your wants, and knowing that GPS is going to get you there, what would you say? I think it's really important, because there's some wonderful, awesome things that are happening, as Laura Devlin spoke about in Mexico. There's so many things that are going. And what would you say to our audience in Mexico, North America? What would you say, not only for you speaking Spanish, to them? What's the inspiration you would give to them to move forward toward their dream?
It'd be the same thing. Para la audiencia hispana, lo que le quisiera decir es la inspiración que uno tiene. Debemos de enfocarnos en nuestro objetivo y no perder la visión que tiene uno. Muchas veces nos distraemos con las opiniones de otras personas. También nos distraemos con otros objetivos que tal vez son más fáciles de obtener, y nos quedamos cómodos en la comodidad. Y es muy importante no perder el enfoque en lo que puedes llamar el destino final o el objetivo. Estar enfocado en su objetivo y reconocer el objetivo dentro
You
de
do have
uno.
to do what's in your heart. You have to follow it. If you lose direction, all you have to do is meditate for a little bit, think about what you want to do, and then go back. I wanted to go ahead, continue.
No. It's funny you say that, because our way of being, I think, we have little triggers, or we have senses that tell us different things that I think it's hard to recognize sometimes. And you say a little bit of meditating, some more self-awareness, and I guess we could call it our heart or something, our emotions, our gut.
Yes.
Tells us things.
Yes.
And I've been struggling with that. Sin reconocer nuestros sentimientos, nuestras emociones, que muchas veces nos están diciendo cosas, nos están dando información que a veces no reconocemos, porque es muy difícil reconocer algo que no es normal, común, que sentimos, pero nuestras emociones nos dicen mucho de lo que debemos de hacer, yo creo.
And you know, it does. It takes effort to pursue your dream. I like how you say it, on the way to your destiny, on the way to success, on the way. There's some great stops. You know, you stop on the way to a dream, and sometimes it looks like it's a setback, but sometimes that setback is a setup. You know, you get some disappointments, and then you have to reappoint it. You have to restructure it. So how have you had to restructure your life in the last, say, 90 days? What have you had to do in order to have your wants and dreams come to pass? Is there anything that you've had to go through that wasn't exactly pleasant?
I mean, the most immediate thing I could think of is the situation with that me and my wife are facing now. It has affected my situation and our situation, her situation, and I say it in that way because they're all independent situations. On a different level, for those that don't know, she's in Mexico City.
Okay.
She can't come back into the country right now. We're processing papers, so we've been apart for almost a year. And that just has been difficult and different, right? You know, the emotionally, our relationship. If you think you struggle, if relationships is a struggle, and this situation is a real test, I think, a real struggle. It has affected our business, Kevin James and I, Miguel and myself, we're really at a very strong point right now that we're heading in an amazing direction. And that's been a difficult conversation. It's been a difficult plan what we're doing as a business with my partners. But it's also a beautiful thing because in everything, and I really try to find opportunity in any situation, and there always is. And in this case, we're expanding, right? We're about to go international, and I like to see it in that.
That's amazing. You know, and part of inspiration, I know that it's been inspiration for me to watch, you know, to see your love for your wife and to see your love for the company, to see Kevin James Gonzalez, how he really cares about the company and the film company and all the other things you guys are expanding and growing in, and his gift as a realtor, his gift as a leader, your gift in leadership, Miguel's, Fred as a teacher. You guys are instructors and teachers and authors, but also you got a gift of inspiration that I kind of like for you to share a little bit with the audience, which is quite unique. I love Hawaii, and we love the music of Hawaii, and we love the music of the world. So I'd like, if you wouldn't mind, to play a little something for us.
Yeah, Glenn, you're talking about my
where did that come from?
venture, huh?
Oh, there we go.
It's funny, you were asking about inspiration and stuff, and a lot of things inspire me, like art, music, storytelling, pictures.
Right.
And so this has been like a cool little hobby of mine. One day, a quick story on how I got into playing ukulele. Some say that, or ukulele. The little guitar. I don't know. It was an impulse buy for sure. Just when I was out buying cables at a local cable place here, electronics store, and they had a ukulele hanging on the shelf. And I was like, what the heck? You guys have ukuleles here? They're like, yeah, you know, $20. I was like, all right, I'll take it. And sure enough, I jumped on YouTube, started looking tutorials, and I'm like, hey, I could kind of do this, right? Yeah. And it's helped me a lot. I make videos, and I don't sing very well, but I stopped caring. I was like, if I could sing a bit, so I don't know. I'll play something I was been learning.
I sing, but I
just
don't
a
play
couple
the ukulele.
verses. I don't sing very well. I'm warning you.
Okay.
I don't play that well either, huh?
You're doing great.
When you get older, plainer, saner, will you remember all the dangers we came from? Burning like embers, falling tender, longing for the days of no surrender years ago. And will you know? So smoke 'em if you've got 'em, 'cause it's going down. And all I ever wanted was you. I'll never get to heaven, 'cause I don't know how. Let's raise a glass or two to all the things I've lost on you. Oh, tell me, are they lost on you? Oh, just that you can cut me loose. Oh, after everything I've lost on you, is that loss on you? Oh, 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 lost on you. Is that lost on you? And it goes on, little something. Could play a happier song too.
I love that.
Just been practicing that one lately.
Well, that's awesome. It's beautiful. It's amazing too about music, because music, it touches. This is not a $20.
That one wasn't, but it's not that. It's funny because I use it a lot in like when we teach and stuff. I use the example of creating content we were talking about. It became an experiment for me with the ukulele, because across my social media, I have my personal account, where it's just an array of many things. Like I've been into cars, I've been into rock climbing, I do video stuff, different music things, and I've noticed that like my audience is like, oh, cool, and then car stuff, awesome. I start posting climbing stuff, and like all these car people go away. And so about being consistent with content, I was like, I'm gonna create a ukulele channel. So all I post is ukulele videos, me learning. It's really about me learning. And but as I started learning, I realized I was able to answer other people's questions. Like,
Wow.
oh, hey, I had that
Wow.
problem. And so my audience started kind of getting a little bigger. I started getting better. So I don't want to say I have fans, but there are certain people that would ask questions. Hey, thank you, that helped me. I'm like, cool, and I would ask questions. And so, long story short, I got approached by a company. It was on Amazon, and they're like, hey, can we send you ukuleles to test for us and do videos? Like, yeah, for sure. So this was one of them they sent me, and I did a little video. It's on there, and so then they sent me another one, and so I started getting more interested in ukuleles.
Play a little something else, please.
Let's see. I don't know if I remember the words, but I'll try. Oh no, I'll play one that you like that I do remember the words. This is my default one.
We all got to have them, right? Yes, this is the one I love.
Let's see. I heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. The baffled king composing, hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. And she tied you to a kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair. And from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Yes.
It goes on like that.
That's awesome. So faith, you know, through this journey, you've had a prayer life in private, and you have a great faith in God, but also you have action. You don't just sit around, you take action. And so that's why I want to thank the audience and thank you guys for listening to what Marco has to say and his life and the spirit behind it. The spirit behind it. I think sometimes, I think your music is beautiful. I think that it's, you know, it's innocent. It's genuine. I mean, a lot of people are great performers.
I have a goal to one day have original songs. I'm not there yet though, so I'm just learning stuff that's already blueprinted out for me, right? But maybe one day, next time I'll have an original for you.
An original. I think I have an original song for you too. I was thinking about it too, because when I get, I'm a songwriter too. I don't do it all the time, but I'm a songwriter too. And when you were playing it there, your song, I have a song for you. And it's a short one. I guess I'm going to have to sing it a cappella because I don't.
What notes do you want to play in C? Or?
It's going to be short, it's just an inspiration. But it follows an old song. But I believe in you, no matter what you say or do. I believe in you. And your song was
Got some pipes.
peace, peace comes, peace flows like a river. Peace flows like joy, it flows. I play my music, I play the songs of my soul. I play the songs that bring freedom, freedom. I am. Just a song.
Love it.
Yeah, it's just a song. It's just a song. But that's what came out from that song. Other songs came out because it touches the soul. You know, it touches your spirit. You know, it's just, and that's why that music is so important to continue. I want to thank Marco for being in the studio, and I thank him for bringing his gift and his other gifts of leadership, gifts of administration, gifts of teaching, gifts of production. And thank you, North America. Thank you, Mexico. Thank you from around the world. Thank you, those of you that have been writing and calling and supporting us in so many ways. Thank you for the faith-based. I try to get back with your prayer requests. Keep them coming in. We love you. We thank you, Kevin James Production Company. Thank you for going global, and thank you for helping us to grow. We're small. Some laugh at us because we are small, but it's not the smallness of our lives that we're looking at. It's the greatness that's on the inside, which is God. Thank you so much.